Family Law 1 in English language, Hindu law, law of adoption. This is my 175th lecture. So far, I have uploaded 174 lectures. Around 150 lectures are uploaded in English medium out of 18 subjects. Around more than 20 lectures I uploaded in Telugu medium against 2 subjects at the request of my student friends of Telugu language. Today I wish to take up the 175th lecture in English. In this lecture I wish to take up the importance of adoption and the law relating to adoption under Hindu Adoption and Maintenance Act 1956. In this lecture, I will cover importance of child, adoption meaning and objects, the practice of adoption in olden days, that is old law, the practice of adoption in present days, that is modern law on adoption with reference to the provisions of Hindu Adoption and Maintenance Act, and finally conclusion and critical appraisal. Now I wish to take up this lecture, law of adoption under Hindu law. Before going to take up this lecture, with your kind permission, I wish to take just 1 minute to pray God, to pay homage to my reverend parents, late Rega Apparao and late Srimati Kantaratnam, and my beloved wife, Mrs. Balivada Rega Tirumala Gauri, senior advocate and my co-author. And I express my deep sense of gratitude to my godfathers who are instrumental for what I am now. I express my heartfelt thanks to the authors of law textbooks, research papers and articles in internet, whose help I took for preparing this lecture. Finally, it is my duty to express my gratitude and indebtedness to my student friends who are instrumental for what I am now. Now, adoption. What is the adoption in the sense? Issueless, those wedded couple who do not have children, that is issueless couple, wish to take some boy or girl, as they take a boy or girl to bring them up as their own for so many customary religious formalities and as a source of pleasure. For that, the practice of adoption came into existence. So it implies that in human life, child is good source of joy, great source of joy. So first of all, I wish to let you know the importance of child. Importance of child. In human life, marriage and parentage are most important and essential aspects. Everybody must get married and must have a life partner to lead happy life and enjoy good social status in the society. However, there are some individuals, man or woman, remain unmarried for certain auspicious reasons, to dedicate their life to God or to dedicate their life for public service. Such people may be there. However, some people, men or women, may remain unmarried for certain reasons beyond their control. However, ultimately, in every human life, marriage is very important. At the same time, parent is also very important. After getting married, if the couple do not have issue child for a long time, then fear starts in their mind and will perform so many pujas, yajnas, and all. So in olden days, issueless parents had to perform yajnas or yagas, and even some panics, tapassu. That also they used to do to get child in those days. Even in modern days also, if a couple do not have any issue, any child, despite elapse of few years after getting married, they consult so many doctors for to so many doctors for to have a child. So in this context, there are so many methods were introduced to give birth to child, namely, and this issuelessness becomes serious problem in certain families. So the woman was asked to take divorce in some cases, and the married wife was married wife's consent was taken wholeheartedly or forcefully to get second wife to have a child in case there is a defect in wife to conceive the child. These are the various reasons. So the time is very short. I have to cover so many aspects. There are so many things to explain. So child is a very, very, very good source of joy and enjoyment. Not only parents near dear, but also even strangers having seen child will show inclination to hug the child and kiss the child. So an issueless parents go for various alternative arrangements. Among that, the best means is adoption. The best means is adoption. So children are given very good importance not only by family members but also by the state. State means the government. There are so many constitutional provisions was there protecting the welfare of the children. So many legislations were passed in India for the welfare of women and children. Similarly, uh, Similarly, some governments are providing so many amenities to children and women and children. For instance, in America, America and other advanced countries, they give top priority, very good importance to the children, and the parents are encouraged to give birth to more and more children. Also, in income tax exemption is there. If a U.S. citizen is given 1500 US dollars from in tax exemption, and non-residents, that is foreigners taking shelter in America, are also given around 500 US dollars as tax exemption like this. So, like this, so many, almost all countries in the world pass so many legislation for the welfare of the children. So, issuelessness is a serious constraint. Issueless creates a lot of unhappiness in a happy family. So, that is why the best option for issueless parents is adoption. This is the importance of this. So here, sometime back, the governments were encouraging family planning, but the governments are now silent in family planning, because in India also the so-called China, which was very particular about family planning. Even unmarried were forced to undergo family planning, but that country also is encouraging 3 children for every couple, every kind providing some benefits also. So today, nowadays, Chaganti Koteswara sir in some Telugu Pandit tells that a woman who gives more birth to children is regarded as goddess Lakshmi. Goddess Lakshmi. That means Hindu goddess. Hindu goddess. So in other religions may consider in as per their religion. So this is with reference to the importance of the child. Now, objects of child. What are the various objects of child? Number one is adoption. Is taking of a child, receiving of a child, accepting of a child from natural or biological parent or guardian in some cases by one person or couple, or one individual, wife or husband alone, or by couple, that is husband and wife, to receive the child, boy or girl, as per terms and conditions, to take their child into their family and bring the child to bring up the child as their own child, as if they are blessed with a child naturally. This adopted child will be treated in the family. I will tell all these things. So before going to tell the meaning, definition and other provision, I want to tell you the objects of child. So the adoption, those parents who do not have children may take the child of brother's son, or the brother's child, or sister's child, or from some abandoned bring some abandoned child from some child care homes and all. And this is most important. This taking a child, adoption, is universally recognized since primitive days, since olden days, in almost all the countries in the world. All countries acknowledge adoption, and all countries, all religions accept adoption. So that is why the adoption is the best means for best option to issueless parents to have a child. That is one. Second one is to perform so many customary and religious ceremonies. For so many customary and religious ceremonies. Here, to perform certain customary religious ceremony, child is necessary. Children are necessary, because to perform any customary religious functions, the child is important. Child is very important. That is offering pinda and other ceremonies is there, and post death ceremonies and all. That is child, boy or girl, is essential. Then nextly, for performing so many customary religious ceremonies, the child is necessary. Next one, third one is, there are two most important objects. So offering pinda and taking family name. Offering pinda and taking families. So offering pinda is one of the most essential ceremony in a life. Here, any human being dies, and his body alone dies, but his soul will not die. So some great pundits enunciate that when a person dies on a particular age, a man or woman, the death is there for body, human body, but there is no death for soul. The soul will be alive. So when a person dies, the ancestor, the so-called putra or son, according to this Hindu Vedas, Son means father, 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 son, son, son. Father, grandfather, great grandfather, son, grandson, great grandson. These come within the purview of putra. Whoever dies first, the other can offer pinda. If father dies first, son offers pinda. Son dies first, father offers pinda. By offering pinda, this parted ancestor, parted the deceased will reach the heaven. So, unless this pinda, the ball of rice from same blood group individual, male co-partner, if the pinda is not offered, the so-called parted, that is the deceased putra, will swing between hell and heaven. So, by offering pinda by putra, the other putra will reach the heaven. So, for that purpose, sun is essential. Sun is essential. That is. So, for this is way, in Sanskrit, it is stated that Pindotaka Kriya Heto, Pindotaka Kriya Heto, offering Pinda is important. Second, taking family name for so many generations. Taking family name for so many generations. In so many religions, so many communities, family name will be continued. Son is considered as Vamsodharaka in so many families and religions. Suppose one couple is there, all are girls, and their surnames will go to their husbands, become husbands' surnames. But if it is boy, whoever he may get married, the man's surname will continue. This is the practice according to olden people's contention and practice of so many religions. However, this there is no hard. The Supreme Delhi High Court recently said that there is no hard and fast rule that the son or boy or girl should have father's surname only. The either boy or girl, that is son or daughter, whether to continue his surname as father's surname or son's surname, it is left to the discretion of that boy or girl. So, suppose a boy or girl wants her surname to be father's surname allowed, son's wife's surname is allowed. And in one article in a net I saw that, but that case was not given. That is the case. So here in some cases, some religions, girl's surname will continue, wife's surname will continue. In some religions, the ladies do not go to burial ground and do not lit to the dead body in the burial ground. But in some, I have seen in some movie also, woman lit to the body of the near or dear. So these are all sociological arrangements, but Vedas are telling Pindotaka Samaheto Nama Sankirtanaya, as per this, son is qualified for these things. So anything is subject to sociologically. Any practice varies from place to place and situation to situation. Suppose in most of the places in India, when any guest enters, comes to our home, we first we give glass of water. In some countries, if any guest visits our home, they simply offer wine. So taking wine appears to be bad habit in some areas. It is a common habit in some. So it is the utmost sociological arrangement. But ultimately, we cannot deny that so far as this Pinda Pradhan and all these things, boy can be preferred over girl. So boy is having certain privileges and girl is privileges. Girl is also great in so many aspects which a boy cannot have. A boy is great in certain aspects which a girl cannot have. So these are the things. Now this is number one of regarding object. The adoption is the best means and wonderful source for issueless parent. Secondly, by adoption, so many customary religious formalities can be performed. Third purpose of adoption is the family name can be taken to future generations. Next one is to perform post-death rituals. After a person is father dies or mother dies, is a son or a daughter in certain aspects, certain communities, they will perform some religious customary and religious formalities. Otherwise, the deceased person, man or woman, will not go to hell and will swing between hell and heaven. That is the system. Ultimately, every human being will die, even after 90 years or 100 years or more than that. So even death is inevitable and incompatible for every human being. Secondly, old age is inevitable. Old age is inevitable. So suppose that man or woman survives for beyond 80, beyond 90. Some people beyond 90 may be strong, walk on their own. But most of the people after attaining some 90 years are like this. In old age, they face lot of problems. It is better die than leading this life. They think they cannot walk, they lie on bed like this. So at the time of old age, after death, to perform post-death rituals, some boy, this survivor must be there. Some survivor must be there. That is one thing. Next thing is of post-death, after a person is died, suppose wife husband are there, they have a lot of property, they don't have children. If they don't have children or any other near or dear, the property will be misused. The property will go to some unknown persons or unwanted person, or ultimately if class 1, class 2, agnates, cognates, nobody is there, the property will go to government. So that is why instead of leaving this property for some unknown, better we have somebody this thing. So that is why this adoption is necessary. So these are the objects of adoption. Next, meaning of adoption. Meaning of adoption means adoption is a customary or religious auspicious ceremony. Adoption is a customary or religious auspicious ceremony, auspicious process or act in which a man or woman, or both man and woman, that is wedded couple, receive a child, that is boy or girl, from biological parents or parent, two, wife and husband, or one parent, mother or father, or in their absence, even a guardian, receive to feed the child, to bring up the child as their own, to take the child to the family and bring up their child as their own. That is the process of adoption. Adoption means childless, issueless couple receive a child, boy or girl, from another couple or one wife or husband or some guardian under certain circumstances to bring up that child as their own child. So this process is called adoption. This concept of adoption is globally acknowledged, globally accepted in almost all religions. So here, but in India, there is only one law that regulates the law of adoption. In India, the law relating to adoption is governed by the Hindu Adoption and Maintenance Act 1956. For Hindus, in the sense Hindus, Buddhists, Sikhs, Jains come under the purview of Hindus. So the Hindu Adoption and Maintenance Act regulate or govern the law of adoption relating to Hindus, which include Sikhs, Jains, Buddhists. So for other religions, that is Mohammedans, Christians, Jews, Parsis, there is no any law regulating the adoption. So in those religions, the Hindu Minority and Wards Act 1890 is followed. 1890 is followed for the purpose of age of child and other aspects. This thing. So here, for for Hindus only law is there. For others, the law relating to adoption is not there. But still, it is the process of adoption is welcomed by almost all religions, all communities, not only in India but also in the world. Next one is adoption under old law, adoption under modern law. We have to discuss. Adoption under old law mean in olden days, that is all people are of very narrow-minded. They are very rigid. In olden days, woman was treated as a tool in kitchen room and toy in the hands of husband and collateral. Man was dominated. Man-dominated communities are there. Man is great, woman is weak. That is the thing. So now it is equal. So many things are there. I had no time to explain so many things. But here, adoption in olden days, couple can take adoption. But the thing is, son alone could be taken as adoption. Girl was not taken into adoption. Girl cannot be adopted, cannot be given, cannot be taken. Boy alone can be given or taken. That is one restriction. Second restriction is only legitimate boy or girl can be adopted. What is mean by legitimate boy? Boy or girl, boy born to legally wedded couple is legitimate boy or legitimate girl. So a boy or girl born to man and woman out of cohabitation without marriage, that boy or girl is called illegitimate son or illegitimate daughter. So only boy was allowed to be adopted. Secondly, only legitimate boy he was allowed. Third one is same caste person. Means no intercaste boy was not allowed. Interreligion boy was not allowed. So for interreligion means basically the law does not apply. Conversion is any conversion is a big constraint, and the adoption will not be valid. So here this is the another thing. And in olden days, husband could take adoption without any irrespective of wife's consent. Because husband was king in family, wife was some servant maid. That was how our men in olden days treated the wife. So wife's consent is nowhere required in olden days. Wife consent immaterial. Then wife was not allowed to take boy or girl in adoption. Woman was not allowed to take boy or girl in adoption. These are the restrictions. There was no age difference between suppose a man wanted to take in those days the question does not arise, because husband takes boy alone adoption, the age restriction cannot be maintained between boy and parent. But in new law that restriction is there. Suppose woman takes boy in adoption, 21 years difference should be there, and a man takes girl in adoption, the age 21 years age difference should be there. These aspects we will take. So these are some defects in old law for taking adoption. Only boy, legitimate boy, same caste boy, woman is a man alone could take, woman could not take. These restrictions were there in old law. With the passing of Hindu Adoption and Maintenance Act 1956, all these restrictions, bad practices in old law were discarded, removed, abolished. Now, according to new law, Hindu Adoption and Maintenance Act, man can take boy or girl in adoption, woman can take boy or girl in adoption, legitimate boy, illegitimate boy, legitimate girl, illegitimate girl, deaf and dumb girl, orphan, anybody can take boy, can be taken in adoption. So same caste, intercaste can be taken. Interreligion cannot be, because conversion is a good ground for good ground to declare a particular thing as void or illegal. So these are the whatever restrictions were there in old law relating to adoption were removed by passing of the Hindu Adoption and Maintenance Act 1956. So now in India, for Hindus, the law relating to adoption is regulated or governed by Section 5 to 17 of the Hindu Adoption and Maintenance Act 1956. This act, Hindu Adoption and Maintenance Act, deals with two concepts. One is adoption and other is maintenance. This maintenance, I delivered a big lecture, not only in CRPC but also in family law. And now the first part is this Hindu Adoption Maintenance Act, Section 1 to 4 deal with preliminary aspects. Title of the act, second act to application, number three definitions, number 4 overriding effect and all. Section 5 to 17 of Hindu Adoption and Maintenance Act deal with adoption, and 18 to 28 deal with maintenance, 29 and 30 deal with repeal and savage. This is the content of this act. Now, the provisions relating to Hindu Adoption and Maintenance Act are enshrined in Section 5 to 17 of the Hindu Adoption and Maintenance Act. So, according to Section 5, any adoption that takes place in among Hindus must be in strict adherence to the rules, that is the provisions of the Hindu Adoption Act, that is Section 6 to 17 of the Hindu Adoption Act. The first Section 5 enunciates that whoever takes boy or girl in adoption should strictly follow the rules under Section 6 to 17 of the Hindu Adoption and Maintenance Act. Now, Section 6 speaks about capacity of competence of persons. Capacity or competence, the parent who wants to take a boy or girl in adoption, man or woman, who wants to take a boy or girl in adoption, or the parent, husband or wife who want to give, father or mother who want to give a boy or girl in adoption, must be competent within the meaning of Section 11 and 12 of the Section 12 and Section 11 and 12 of Indian Contract Act. That means the couple from this side or that side, giver and taker must be majors above 18 years, subject to guardian, appointment of guardian 21 years. They must be majors, they must be of sound mind. They must be major and they must be of sound mind. They must not have disqualified by law in force due to some reason or other. That is one thing. And the child to be given in adoption, may be boy or may be girl, but the child must not be readopted child. Must not be, suppose the boy or girl already adopted to one parent, the boy or girl cannot be readopted to another parent, because once adoption is adoption forever. That is. So the boy or girl cannot be readopted to two parents. In a family, only one boy or one girl is there, but two brothers or two sisters are asking for adoption. So, okay, you both of you adopt this parent, giving parent cannot say. So, the boy or girl to be given in adoption, to be given to only one couple only, cannot be given to two couple. That is one restriction. Third restriction is, the boy or girl to be given in adoption must be a minor within 18 years of age or 21 years, subject if the guardian is there. So minor child, boy or girl should be given. For Hindus, this rule is there. For other religions, Muslims, Christians and others, the Juvenile Justice Act 2015 is applied. According to that, I'm sorry, for Hindus, the boy or girl's age must be 15 years only. 15 years. I'm extremely sorry. So the age of a boy or girl to be given in adoption must be only 15 years. 15 years, not minor, not minor. The boy must be 15 years or girl must be 15 years, not minor. So the boy, they may be, for according to Juvenile Justice and Juvenile Justice Act 2018, juvenile means a child. A child below the age of 18 years is juvenile. So we are not bothered about the concept minor. We have to take the concept of juvenile. Juvenile courts, juvenile justice act, all these things I explained in criminology. But juvenile means is a child. A child below the age of 15 years is juvenile. Juvenile. And that child is called qualified for adoption. For other religions, Christians, Muslims, Parsis, and those religions, the age is 18 years. 18 years. No minority guardian do not apply here. So that is section 6 speaks about that. Now section 7 speaks about capacity, qualifications of a man or married man to take boy or girl in adoption. Qualification of a man or father to take boy or girl in adoption. Here, according to section 7 of the Hindu Adoption and Maintenance Act, any man, whether married or unmarried, can take a boy or girl in adoption. Boy or girl in adoption. Suppose a married man, he should take with the consent of wife, he should take the boy or girl in adoption. Consent of wife is must. In olden days, consent of wife is not there. Suppose a man is having 2 or more wives, the consent of all the wives is necessary. When once the boy or girl, if 2 or more wives, first wife becomes the adoptive mother, he becomes the adoptive father, and other wives become stepmothers. Other wives become stepmother. That is the thing. A married man, unmarried man. Suppose an unmarried man takes a boy or girl in adoption, and subsequently he marries, that woman will become a stepmother. He becomes adoptive father, and this thing. That is one rule, and that is the rule. So here. That is capacity. Wife's consent is over, unmarried. These are the main conditions relating to the adoption. Suppose a man wants to take a boy or girl in adoption. Suppose wife is pregnant. He has only one wife. Wife is pregnant. Suppose our second wife or third wife, anybody is pregnant. This pregnancy is not there is no bar. Even though wife is pregnant, still boy may be born or girl may be born immaterial. If adoption is taken up, that adoption is valid. Adoption during the pregnancy of wife also is valid. So these are the rules with reference to male who wants to take a boy or girl in adoption. Section 8 speaks about female woman or married woman qualifications to take boy or girl in adoption. In above, a man need not take the consent of wife. If the wife is unsound, if the wife convert into other religion, if the wife renounced the world, gone to sannyasis, if the wife is insane, unable to distinguish between right and wrong, in such case, wife's consent not necessary to husband. And regarding female, a married woman or unmarried woman can take a boy or girl in adoption. Can take a boy or girl in adoption. An unmarried woman can take boy or girl in adoption. After taking boy or girl in adoption, if she marries subsequently, that husband will become the stepfather. Suppose a widow who lost husband takes boy or girl in adoption with the consent in olden days. The husband tells, my health is not good. After my death, you take boy or girl in adoption. Take adoption, or in his absence, she takes the consent or authority of co-partners, co-leaders, brothers, of husbands, brothers, and so. Suppose husband died in 2021, wife remarried in 2022, wife remarried in 2022, either before marriage or after marriage, if she takes boy or girl in adoption, that adoption is deemed to have been taken during the lifetime of, that is doctrine of relation back. Suppose a widow is there, husband lost in 2020, she has taken boy or girl in adoption in 2022 with the prior consent of husband or collateral, that is co-partners, that adoption comes back, will have a retrospective effect in as per doctrine of relation back. Suppose if she, after taking boy or girl in adoption, if he remarries any man, that man will become the stepfather, that husband will become stepfather to the child, stepfather to the child. So like this also, the person who wants to take boy or girl in adoption, this woman must be major, she must be of sound mind, she must be of sound mind. So a married woman also can take adoption, but husband is sound mind, or husband converted to other religion, or husband is like a deaf and dumb, not competent for anything, then she has to take care of everything. That woman also can take boy or girl in adoption. Suppose man takes boy or girl in adoption. Suppose a man man takes girl in adoption, 21 years age made difference should be there. If woman takes boy in adoption, 21 years age difference should be there, according to section 12. And the next one is child. Section 7, qualifications or conditions of male father to take boy or girl in adoption. Section 8, conditions or qualifications of a female woman who wants to take boy or girl in adoption. Secondly, the next one is section 9, lays down the rules or conditions to give boy or girl in adoption. These rules are almost identical. So a parent, biological parent or natural parent can give their boy or girl in adoption. A boy or girl in adoption. So a man gives adoption, wife's consent is necessary. If wife is like deaf and dumb or converted or unsound or renounced, wife's consent is not necessary. Suppose wife husband both are unsound or something, some guardian will take the boy or girl in adoption, or some any in orphan home and abandoned children are there, the one can bring the boy or girl, and who brings up that child, he is deemed to be the father or guardian, and he will give. So even the parent defective due to unsoundness or disease or anything, some other responsible person as a testamentary guardian or a legal guardian can take care of the child and bring up the child, and that boy or girl that man guardian can give this boy or girl in adoption. A ceremony can be performed. The ceremony and other things are produced before the court, and the court, to convince the court that to acknowledge this adoption as valid, court must be convinced that this particular adoption done by guardian other than the natural parent or biological parent is performed, is done for the welfare of the child. That condition is to be fulfilled. So this is the position. A parent who can give child in adoption, they must be majors, they must be of sound mind. Father can give, mother can give, depending on some guardian can give, and the person who brought up the child from orphan home also can give child. When the father or mother are defective due to one reason or other, some guardian also can give boy or girl get child in adoption. Now, 7, 8, 7, man's qualifications for taking in adoption. 8, woman's qualifications for take a boy or girl in adoption. 9, qualifications of parent who want to give boy or girl in adoption. Section 10, some valid rules, some rules relating to valid adoption. The adoption to be valid, the boy or girl can be given in adoption. Number 1, that child should not complete 15 years of age. The child must not complete 18 years of, should not be married. Provided the custom permits, it is valid. Custom savage is there. So, an unmarried boy or unmarried girl cannot be adopted, but their custom permits that married man also can be given in adoption, or a married woman also can be given in adoption. The custom will supersede the law. And similarly, age 15 years. For Hindus, 15 years. For other religions, 18 years. 18 years. And as per Juvenile Justice Act. And above that age, their religion permits, Muslim religion or Christian religion or even in Hindu religion, above 15 years permits that religion, that adoption will be valid. So here, according to old law, only boy was adopted. Now boy or girl can be adopted. In old law, only legitimate boy or girl could be adopted. Now even illegitimate boy or girl can be adopted. In olden law, deaf and dumb could not be adopted. Even today, deaf, dumb, orphan could be adopted. Orphan could be adopted. So here, according to this, if the boy or girl is given in adoption, if boy is given to mother, the age must be 21, difference must be 21 years. If the girl is given in adoption, the parent, father, if a man takes girl, age must be 21 years difference. If a woman takes girl, takes boy, their age must be 21 years. Parent and child age difference must be 21 years. Suppose 10-year boy is taken by woman, the woman age must be 31 years. Suppose that is if a man takes girl in adoption, girl age is 10 years, man's age must be not less than 31 years. So the type of differences must be there. One more thing is once adoption is adoption forever. Adopted child cannot be re-adopted. Adopted child, suppose a child is given an adoption to parents A. After some time, parents A cannot give the child in adoption to parents C. So once adoption is adoption forever. It cannot be renewed. It cannot be re-adopted. That is one thing. Adoption of a boy or girl is only one parent, not for two or more parents. Two or more parents. So maybe single individuals or couples. So it is for only one only. It is once for all only. These are the rules. Next rule is there some other rules section I will read. There is no consideration for adoption. The adoption datta homa must be performed. Adoption should be registered according to section 17 by the register of document. These are the ingredients. Datta homa or homa saptapadi are performed for validity of Hindu marriage. The datta homa can be performed. Datta homa can be performed according to 16. Similarly, how marriage can be registered under section 7 of the Hindu Marriage Act. Here, adoption can be registered under section 16 of the Hindu Adoption Maintenance Act. For marriage, no consideration. Here, for no money, no the person giving or accepting this should not accept any consideration, money. There should not be any price for the child to be given in adoption. Section 17 prohibits that. So these are the different rules of adoption under section 10. So other conditions of adoption, section 11. Other conditions of adoption. Section 11 of Hindu Adoption Maintenance Act tells that other condition. So suppose a man wants to take boy in adoption, he should not have son, son's son, son's son's son. There should not be any putra. Putra means son, son's son, son's son's son. Yes, a descending order. Son, grandson, great grandson. If a man is having already son, no son, but the son died, but his son is there, predeceased son, and great grandson is there. So a man wants to take a boy in adoption, he should not have son, son's son, that is grandson, son's son's son, that is great grandson. Suppose he wants to take a girl in adoption, he should not have girl, he should not have son's daughter, he should not have daughter, he should not have son's daughter. Similarly, a woman wants to take a boy in adoption, so she should not have son, she should not have son's son, son's son. Suppose a woman wants to take a girl in adoption, she should not have daughter, she should not have a son's daughter, son's daughter. These are the restrictions under section 11. And the next one is 21 years age gap. Okay, opposite sex taken in adoption, the age difference must be, parent and child must be 21 years old. 21-year-old. Adoption, one boy or girl cannot be given in adoption to two or more individuals or two or more couples, parents. So once adoption is adoption forever. So the adoption ceremony, Datta Homa, must be performed. And Datta Homa must be performed. Datta Homa should be performed. It can be registered under section 16 of the Hindu Adoption and Maintenance Act. So these are the other rules for adoption under section 11. Next, 12. What are the effects of adoption? What are the consequences of adoption? According to section 12, some rules are there. So adoption means when adoption ceremony is over, adoption process is over, after ceremony and followed by registration, the boy or girl dies in natural family and is born in adoptive family. He or she is no more a boy, no more a child in previous family, giving a parent in parent who gave him. He dies there, he is born here. So all rights of the boy or girl get extinguished in previous family and exist in new family. So that is the thing. So however, if the boy or girl is having property in previous family, that is natural parents family, that property will continue in his name. When he takes some property, at the same time he should having some obligation also in old family. Another thing is the degrees of proficient relationship. Who are the persons come within the meaning of degrees of proficient relationship in previous family, the same will continue. Sometimes what happens is, mother takes child of his brother's children to give property, so that the property will go to his own brother's children. That means niece or nephew. If a mother takes, a lady takes brother's children, means relation point of view, they do not become son or daughter, they become niece and nephew. Here, previous family relation is different, new family relation is different. So all those who become brothers or sisters will become brother-in-law or sister-in-law. So that according to new family, who was brother earlier now becomes brother-in-law. Whoever was sister earlier becomes sister-in-law. According to this new family rule, degrees of appropriate relationship restriction is not there, but still they should not marry. In old family, whoever becomes a sister, after new family, that sister becomes sister-in-law, there he should not marry as a sister. Here also he should not marry. The degrees of prohibited relationship will continue. So the earlier property will continue and debts if any will continue. So according to doctrine of elections, not only rights but also duties also will continue from old family. The relationships also will continue in own family. When a boy or girl enters to new family, the members, the rights of the existing members do not be affected. The parents will have same rights and duties to dispose of the property, transfer of property, inter vivas and everything, unless there is any agreement to that effect. Why that agreement to that effect? Suppose a man is giving his son or daughter in adoption to his near or dear, but with a hope that that man is having sufficient property, my boy or girl will be more comfortable in that property. When after the adoption is over, whatever property he is having, he disposes of and gives it to some near or dear, and my son, natural son, who becomes adoptive son there, cannot have any property. So, no, you said that you have this much property. I will put all that property to your son. I want to take your son in adoption, you said. But when once the adoption is over, when my son reached your home and adoptive son, you are disposing all the property, you cannot, then it can be questioned. But otherwise, unless there is an agreement to that effect, normally new adoptive family, parents' rights, other members' rights will not be affected. Will not be affected. This is the these are the rules according to Article 12. 12.10 rights of adoptive parents. Rights of adoptive. So 12 effects. So whatever rights and duties he have, they will continue. Old family property will continue here. Whomsoever he could not marry there, in new family also he cannot marry. Next, section 13 speaks about property rights. When by the reason that new child, the boy enters adoptive family, the existing members' rights will not suffer unless they can comfortably dispose of their property, unless there is an agreement to that effect. 13 is over. Next, fourth one is parental status. Determination of status. Suppose adoption is over, what is the position of new family? New family. So the person who receives the boy or girl in adoption is adoptive father. His wife is adoptive mother. Adoptive mother. Suppose he has two and above wives. The senior most wife who got married earlier will become the adoptive mother, and others will become stepmothers. Others will become stepmothers. For example, suppose a widow, unmarried woman marries. Unmarried woman takes boy or girl in adoption. She will be adoptive mother. After some time, after adoption, she marries. The husband will become stepfather. Suppose a widow marries. The widow is there. The husband died. No issue. She married. She take adoption first. That boy, she becomes adoptive mother. His deceased husband becomes adoptive father with retrospective effect. After adoption, sometimes she will get married. That husband whom she got married subsequent to adoption will become the stepfather. Suppose if the man who took the boy or girl in adoption and he has 2 to 4 wives. So first wife alone, who is senior most wife alone, will be the adoptive mother. Others will become stepfathers. These are the rules with reference to the status of mother or father who took the boy or girl in adoption. Next, section 15 tells that once adoption is adoption forever. So adoption cannot be, valid adoption cannot be cancelled. According to section 15, when once adoption takes place, it is final. So this year taking adoption, next year no, I don't want this adoption, cannot be done. Just like this year marriage, next year divorce. How divorce, marriage can be revoked, but adoption cannot be revoked. Once adoption is adoption forever. So no question of revocation, no question of re-adoption. That is section 15 tells you. Section 16 speaks about registration. The process of adoption can be registered with the register of documents. Any adoption is challenged, the court will accept adoption on production of some document, and also the performance of a document relating to performance of Datta-Homa. See, in Uttar Pradesh, they passed some special rules. That is, after 1st January 1977, and oral evidence or something could be accepted, but after 1st January 1977, if any adoption is to be proved and enforceable, documentary evidence is must. Documentary evidence is must. Suppose if any person challenges that adoption is not correct, the burden of proof lies on a person who approaches the court. Suppose if anybody challenges that is not correct and approaches the court, he should prove beyond all reasonable doubts. That man that plaintiff who wants to challenge this adoption as valid must prove that they prove this documentary evidence. Without documentary evidence, it cannot be challenged after 1st January. Previously, without documentary evidence, the court acknowledged the adoption. After 1st January 1977, it was mandatory. It is mandatory. So these are the issues. 16. Last section 17 is relating to consideration. Adoption, there should not be exchange of money between the process of adoption. The person who receives a boy or girl in adoption must not give any money or property to the parent who is giving in adoption. Similarly, how taking bribe is, giving and taking bribe is offense, here this is also offense. If anybody violates this rule, give adoption price, gives adoption give child price, that person giver and taker will be punished according to section 17 of the Act, and the punishment may be the 6 months imprisonment, and fine, or both. The prosecution can be taken only with the prior sanction or prior permission of the state government only. So conclusion or concluding remarks here. Adoption is a very best source, best option for issueless parent. In olden days, so many yajnas, yagas were celebrated, were function to get the child, and panics were conducted, and in a recent past, putra kamesh yaga. And some parents who do not have child for so many years, after that they are going for putra kamesh yaga, means some Chennai, some team of pandits will come and perform that in a very auspicious way. After performance of that putra kamesh yaga, just like Mrutyunjaya yaga, the man survives. The putra kamesh yaga, after that performance, the boy or girl is born in so many cases. Some team of pandits from Chennai, the first presidency in British regime, they will come and do it. And this is one thing. According to the Indian Society of Assisted Reproduction, so this childlessness is a serious menace. The parents are suffering every year 60,000. According to Indian Society of Assisted Reproduction, The statistics say that every year 60,000 abandoned children are born in India. So some due to illicit, illegal contacts, children are born, they are thrown in dustbin or elsewhere. That type of orphans are being taken care of in orphan homes. The type of children are there in India. Every year 60,000 are there. Every year 60,000 are there, and nearly 3 crore couple, 3 crore couple, 2.75 2 crore 75 lakh couple are suffering infertility. Infertility means unable to, the woman is unable to conceive the child. They are going to so many things. They are going to hospitals, undergoing surgeries, undergoing surgeries, and test tube babies are there. In recently, some high class people, wife cannot bear the pains, and the genes of wife and husband are collected and inserted in any some poor woman. That poor woman will get pregnancy and will give birth. After the child is born, these parents with whose genes child is brought up and born, the fetus of the born up in another mother's womb, the child is taken back. That kind of children are there. Test tube babies are there. And another thing is, in one movie, Chori Chori Chupke Chupke, I think Salman Khan, Rani Mukherjee, and Preeti Zinta. Salman Khan, Rani Mukherjee, wedded couple, they could not get married. They had to request Preeti Zinta to give birth. Like that, it was done. That type of things are there. So anyway, the children are great source of life, and here nearly the availability of parents issue, the ratio between availability is